Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again. We get another one of the main set Final Fantasy Legends today that I've taken and turned into a commander deck. And yeah, I haven't done a typal deck so far. I don't think this set. I think, well, Choco maybe counts because of the birds in it, but this one is very typal because today we are looking at Kuja, the Genome Sorcerer, 2 black and red for a 3/4 human mutant wizard. And at the beginning of your end step, create a 0/1 black wizard creature token with whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. And then if you control 4 or more wizards, you get to transfer Kuja into Trance Kuja, Fate Defiled. 4/6, if a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage instead. Suddenly makes the pinging from your little wizards you may have, your 0/1 guys, into shocks. And yeah, with some of the cards in today's deck, we can make it even better than that. So here we go. Here's what my take on Kuja, the Genome Sorcerer, looks like. I hope you enjoy it. So, because I'm going very typal in this deck today, we have 36 creatures in the deck, and they are all mages of some description or other. Starting with the Spark Mage, because if you've managed to flip Kuja into the Fate Defiled, this basically shocks each creature or creature a player controls. So yeah, makes sense. Viscera Seer is a wizard, so we might as well have this in sacrifice a creature and scry 1. Asylum Visitor. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player has no cards in hand, we draw a card and lose a life. But it's a 3/1 with Madness. It's another wizard. It's a cheap wizard that we can hopefully get into play. And, when Kuja comes in, we'll have enough wizards by the end step to flip them instantly into the Fate Defiled. Harmonic Prodigy is just a no-brainer. We're playing a wizard typal deck. We want to be doubling up on our triggers, so this one makes sense. Jadar, the Ghoul Caller of Nephel's in, just to give us that little zombie with decay, so we've got something we can attack with. We can't block with it, we might as well have it in there to attack. Again, another cheap wizard. Likewise, Spark Mage Apprentice, enters the battlefield, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. The Ethermancer, the Ethermancer? Anathetermancer? I don't know, that thing. A little bit different. It comes into play, it deals damage to target player equals the number of non-basic lands that player controls. Yeah, okay then. Let's trigger that twice, shall we? That sounds good. Let's do that. Blood Cultist. Come on, change. Thank you. Ping it, tap it to ping something. And then whenever a creature dealt damage by the Blood Cultist put into a graveyard this turn, put +1/+1 counter on the Blood Cultist. Dual Caster Mage makes an appearance to copy our target instant or sorcery spell. And we can choose new targets for it. Exhibition Mage gives us a treasure as well as being a wizard. A little bit more expensive, but it kind of replaces itself with a treasure. Occasionally, and I do mean occasionally, you may want the citizen token, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to be the treasure token. From there, we've got Uncrag Pyromancer, because we do draw some extra cards, so we might as well have a way of lightning bolting something. Magus of the Wheel, just sacrifice it. We all discard our hands and draw 7. We always like a little bit of Wheel of Fortune. Might as well have this one in play. It is a wizard at the end of the day. And Mastermind Plum. People forget about the clue cards, and some of them are quite good. The Mastermind's not bad at all, because when he attacks, you get to exile a card from a graveyard and get an art. If an artifact was get exiled this way, you get a treasure token. But whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure is spent to cast it, you can draw a card and lose a life. So yeah. Definitely has his upsides, the 2/2 for 3, I have to say. Moria, Urborg Haunt is also in. Deals combat damage to a player. Return to the battlefield target creature card in your graveyard that was put from the battlefield this turn. So, maybe. Mysidian Elder comes in from Final Fantasy just because it comes into play and gives us another one of the 0/1 guys who like dealing damage when we cast non-creature spells. Likewise, Queen Barra is also in because when it attacks we get one of those nice little wizards, and this has got prowess, so this gets quite big quite quickly with this deck. Again, another wizard to help, well, not a noble, but creates a wizard, so it does help us flip Kuja a bit. Rowan, Simian of War. Menace, spells you cast this turn that are black or red cost X less to cast, where X is the amount of life we've lost this turn. We can only activate as a sorcery, but it's a 4/2 wizard with Menace, so it's quite a nice beat stick, is old Rowan. From there, Teresa Light Shatter comes in. Enters, discard up to 2 cards, draw 2 cards, and whenever it attacks, if there's 7 or more cards in our graveyard, we may exile a card at random from our graveyard, and we can play that card this turn. So Yeah, nice way of recasting some of our spells. Unsparing Boltcaster comes in as well. When his creature enters, it deals 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls it was dealt damage this turn. Ping, kill, 6. Yep, happy with that. Basalt Ravager also comes in. Enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to any target where X is the greatest number of creatures you control that have a creature type in common. What creature type? Oh yeah, wizard. Oh yeah. Black Waltz number 3 also makes an appearance from Final Fantasy because, you know, we might as well have this deal some damage that way. And then Gissa, Glorious Resurrector. Creatures die, they get exiled, and at the beginning of our upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Glissa onto the battlefield under our control with a decay counter. Yes, they're probably going to stay around for a little while, maybe, well, hopefully they'll stay around until your next turn so you can attack with them all. But, you know, fairly than that, there must be some good creatures that hopefully you've been killed off and you've exiled. Roaming Throne doubles all the triggers, has ward and becomes a wizard itself. Tenjid Oilcaster has +3/+0 as long as the opponent has 8 more cards in their graveyard. And whenever it attacks or blocks, each player mills a card. It has Menace, so it does become... It's a 2/4 for 4 mana, which isn't great, but it is quite easy to turn this into a 5/4, so I'm not going to complain. Vindictive Leech. Dies, choose one or more. Each mode must target a different player. So if someone sacrifices a creature, someone discards 2, and someone else loses 5 life. People tend to leave this alone because, you know, it can be quite painful for them. The Crackling Spellcaster comes in from the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Commander decks. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, the next instant sorcery spell you cast this turn has Storm. Yes, you read that right. A 5 mana 2/2 that gives your next instant or sorcery Storm. Yeah, like that. That's fine. We'll go with that. Direfleet Ravager comes in because when it enters, each player loses a third of their life rounded up. Has Menace and Death Touch, so really hard to block. Endrixar Master Breeder will hopefully give us some Thralls, and then hopefully we'll kill a few Thralls off so we keep generating them every time we cast a spell. Fanadaniel Telethropic Asian. I think I've just butchered that name, so sorry to any Final Fantasy fans who are now going to be upset with me for me butchering that. But you cast an instant sorcery, you get to Surveil 1, and at the beginning of our end step, each opponent may sacrifice a non-token creature of their choice. For each opponent who doesn't, they lose 2 life for each instant sorcery card in our graveyard. Yeah, okay. Guildcaller Glissa, sacrifice a creature, get some zombies. Magnus of the Coffers just gives us a way of getting extra mana off all our swamps for each swamp we control. Puppeteer Clique comes in, nicks a creature card from an opponent's graveyard. It gains haste, you attack with it, and then you exile it. And this has persist, so they kill this off. It comes back and does it all again for us. Ryona, the Fire Dancer. Well, as long as we've cast a serious number of instants and sorcery spells, we can copy several creatures. And, yeah, just go that way with it. Sounds fun to me. Cabal Patriarch, sacrifice the creatures. Give something -2/2. Then we can exile a creature card from our graveyard if we're desperate to give something else -2/2. But you're going to sacrifice a creature, aren't you? Yeah, of course you are. Had a little bit of fun with the last card, well, the penultimate card, Dragon Mage. I just don't think this sees enough play, and I think it's great fun just hitting a player with 5 in the air and then everyone discarding their hand and drawing 7. I just think it's fun. Take it out if you don't want it in here, but, you know, it is a wizard, so it does fit on theme, but, yeah, bear it in mind. And then finally, Kefka, the Dancing Mad from the Commander decks from Final Fantasy, has Indestructible during our turn. And at the beginning of our end step, exile a card at random from each opponent's graveyard. You may cast any number of the spells from among the cards exiled this way without paying the mana cost. Then each player who owns a spell you cast this way loses life equal to its mana value. This probably deserves a deck all by itself because I do like doing a Chaos deck at some stage. So don't be surprised to see Kefka the Dancing Mad turn up at some stage as a video. Not this week though. From there, sorceries. Cornered by black mages, we get to get our little black wizard token. When we get everyone's target opponent sacrifice a creature of their choice, that's fine. Toxic Deluge, control the board along with Damnation and Blasphemous Act. Then we have Circle of Power, so we can draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and get another one of our lovely little wizard things. But if we've got a fair few wizards in play, they all do get +1/+0 until the end turn and gain lifelink. So, you know, that might help. And then finally, Crippling Fear. Now, obviously it doesn't deal with some of the big things you're starting to see in Commander at the moment, but you can say Wizard and basically give everything else -3/-3, which if you've then done crippling power might just give you enough to punch through a few things. Instance the next. I mean, we've got 6 sorceries, 7 instants. We've got a few artifacts coming up because we're into non-creature spells as well. Don't forget that. Terminate is here. Untimely malfunction from Duskmourn. Destroy an artifact, change the target spell, make 1 or 2 creatures that can't be blocked. Chaos Warp, because why would you not have it in a deck that has red? Fight On to bring back some of the things from our graveyard to our hand if our wizards get killed off early. Colgan's Command, 2 damage to anything. Return target creature card from our graveyard to our hand. Destroy an artifact, discard a card, you know the score. Transpose from the Commander decks from Final Fantasy. Draw a card, then discard a card. You lose 1 life. Yeah, okay. If this spell was cast from your hand, you get the nice little black 0/1/0/1 wizard token that does the whole damage thing. And then it has rebound. So although when it rebounds you don't get the wizard, you do get to draw a card and discard a card. Just don't do it when you're on 1 life because you will die instantly. Nothing you can do about it. Finally, a little bit of removal. Wizard's Lightning is here as well. Artifacts, some more of the non-creature spells, obviously. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman for the ramp, Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. We've got Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Black Mage's Rod turns any of our creatures into that additional damage dealer, which is quite nice. Mind Stone, Signet, ramp. Red Mage's Rapier is quite fun. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice. Talisman of Indulgence and Thought Vessel, maximum hand size, 1 or black or red for damage. Now, we have 3 enchantments in the deck, and they all help us deal damage. Arcane Bombardment, okay, we've only got 13 instances of sorcery, so I'm aware of that, but it's still worth having this card in here to help us get a copy occasionally. But then we have Fiery Emancipation and City on Fire. Triple damage. Let's do this, because if you've got your little 0/1 black wizard tokens doing 3 when you cast a non-creature spell, or if you're lucky enough to have both of these in play, yeah, that's 3 times 1 is 3, times by 3 again is 9. Fun. From there, it's the lands. Black and red all the way through. Nothing particularly fancy here. We are playing 10 mountains. We are playing 10 swamps. We have got Reliquary Tower and Nykthos to help us with our devotion. Tainted Peaks in, Temple of the False God. 3 Tree City is a bit of a no-brainer because we are playing a typal deck, so we can choose Wizard. And Urborg, Tomb of Yawgmoth, because there's a little bit more black than there is red in the deck. And that's it. That is my take on Kuja, the Genome Sorcerer. I think it's fun. I think it's going to be a good laugh to play this deck when I get around to playing it on stream. So, speaking of which, if you want to see me play this deck, there's a link down below in the description, and I am quite excited to play this one this week at some stage. So please come and give me a follow over there. There's 292. I had 2 recent followers on there, so thank you to the new 2 people who have joined. They've also joined the YouTube channel as well, so I encourage you to join the YouTube channel as well. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, please hit the share button, help me out. As I'm mentioning, I'm going to start plugging a little bit more. I have a big birthday coming up in a few months' time. If I can get somewhere nearer to 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube by the time I turn 50 in October, I will be very happy. So, but for now, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll be back tomorrow with yet another one of the Final Fantasy cards. But for now, have a good one. See you soon. Bye.